What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Beaver Warrior Tri-Brigade deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck was actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Izzy. And this deck is an extremely fun deck to play with because you get to summon out one of the most powerful monsters ever created. Beaver Warrior, aka Louise, because if you know, you know. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell in there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon on the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description in every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. And definitely give Izzy some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So without further ado guys, let's get straight on into this one. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Beaver Warrior. This card is an awesome 3 of the deck that we can actually turbo out extremely easily in this build, and this card is just an amazing 3 of in the deck, and even goes with the theme because it's a Beast Warrior monster that you can use with your Tri-Brigade monsters. We're then playing 3 copies of Tri-Brigade Froctal. This card is an amazing 3 of in the deck that starts the entire Tri-Brigade engine because it has the ability you can send this card from your hand or field to the grave, and then send a level 3 or lower Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster from your deck to the grave, which is always going to be your copy of Tri-Brigade kit that you're going to send to the graveyard off your copy of Froctal, and it's a really awesome starter for the deck. Now, all of your Tri-Brigade monsters actually share a common effect when they're on the field. You can banish any number of Beast, Beast Warrior, and or Winged Beast monsters from your graveyard to special summon a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast link monster from your X deck with a link rating equal to the number of banished cards. And also, for the rest of the turn, you can only use Beast, Beast Warrior, Winged Beast monsters as link material for the rest of the turn, which is not that big of a deal because it's pretty much all we're playing in the deck anyways. But it's a really awesome 3 of in the deck. We then play 3 copies of Tri-Brigade Kit. Tri-Brigade Kit is an amazing 3 of in the deck because if this card does touch the graveyard, you send a Tri-Brigade monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is always going to be your copy of Nirval. And Nirval is amazing to send to the graveyard because if this card does touch the graveyard, you get to add a Tri-Brigade monster from your deck to your hand. You basically follow this line through from your copy of your Froctal to your copy of Kit and then Nirval, because basically what you're going to do is discard this, send Kit, Kit will then send Nirval, which will get you 3 in the graveyard, and then you'll always search off your copy of Karass because it can special summon itself to your side of the field, which we do play 2 copies of Karass in the deck. Now this card's awesome unique ability is that you can discard one other Beast, Beast Warrior, Winged Beast monster to special summon this card from your hand, which is a really good effect because it's going to get you 4 in the graveyard if you go down this line, which is really cool without even wasting your normal summon. So you can use the effect of Karass on the field so you can summon out your copy of Shirog, which is amazing to be able to do because it's going to get you a link 4 monster on your side of the field by following this line. I love that about this deck, and it's really easy to pull off with this particular build because you're playing so many copies of Froctal in the deck with your copies of Tenki and your copies of Froctal. So, for the other monsters we're playing in the deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of the Favored Serval. This card is really good as a 1 of in the deck because this card is great to combo with your copy of your Karass, because if this card is discarded, you get to special summon out the Fabled Serval to your side of the field, which is amazing because this card is a tuner, and your copy of your Karass is a level 2 monster, letting you go in for the Herald of Arclight, which is just really good in this particular deck. I really like this card as a 1 of in the build. We then play 3 of the best normal summon outside of our copy of Beaver Warrior, and that's going to be 3 copies of Rescue Cat. Rescue Cat is really good as a 3 on the deck because you can send this card to the graveyard to special summon out 2 level 3 or lower beast monsters from your deck, but their effects are negated, which is not that big of a deal because you can instantly bring out some really powerful cards to your side of the field, like your copy of your Cerberus and your copy of Karass, which is really good because this card basically equals a copy of your Herald of the Arclight, which is just really good about this card. And it's just a awesome 2 of or 3 of in the deck to bring out 2 monsters to your side of the field so you can go in for some link plays or even some synchro plays if you bring out the copy of the Fabled Cerberus, which is just really nice. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is just one of the best hand traps in the entire game to stop your opponent, and it stops your opponent from touching the deck, which is why we play this card as a 3 of in the build. We then play 3 copies of Droll. Droll is really good in this deck as well because it does stop the opponent from searching anymore for the rest of the turn, and this card is just really good overall right now, and I love love this card as a 3-of in the build. We then play 2 copies of DD Crow. DD Crow is searchable in the deck, but I feel like 2 is really good right now, which is why I put this card as a 2-of in the build. Usually I just play 1 in a Tri-Brigade deck, but it does help out to be able to discard this card to the graveyard because it will get you a Wing Beast in the graveyard so you can use it with your Tri-Brigade monsters, but it is searchable in this build, which is why I just play 2. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start off with a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is a definite 1-of in the deck because we really need our plays to go off in this deck, so this card helps us by stopping hand traps. We then play 2 copies of Tri-Brigade Roar. Tri-Brigade Roar is really good in this deck as a 2-of. You can play 3, but I feel like 2 is totally fine. This card is great because if you control a Link monster, you can send a Tri-Brigade card from your deck or extract to the graveyard and then target an effect monster on the field and apply the following effect based on the type of card that you sent to the graveyard to activate this card. If it's a monster that you sent, you get to change the targeted monster's attack to 0 until the end of the turn. If it's a spell, negate that monster's effect until the end of the turn. If you send a trap, you return that monster back to the hand, which is a pretty good effect because you do actually play 2 copies of Revolt in the deck, so you can use this card to be able to use it as a bounce as well. You can get any of those 3 effects in this build, which is really good depending on the situation, and I love this card as a 2-of in the build. I have considered bumping it to 3 over the second copy of DD Crow, but it is an option for you guys if you want to go that route, but I really like 2 in this build. We then play 3 copies of Unexpected Die. This card is really good as a 3-of in the deck because it instantly gets the most powerful card in our deck on our side of the field instantly and turns Beaver Warrior into basically a Cyber Dragon. I love that about this card, that it just instantly lets you special summon Beaver Warrior directly from the deck to your side of the field and get you a Beast Warrior on your side of the field. And again, one of the most powerful cards ever created in Yu-Gi-Oh, which is just super cool to instantly get Beaver Warrior on the field off of this card. It can also be used as bait for Ash Blossom, which is just really good, so you can make sure your copy of your Frogtall goes off, which is just really nice about this card, and I really like this card as a 3-of in the build. We then play 3 copies of Tenki. Tenki is just really good because it searches a Beast Warrior directly from our deck to our hand, which is going to be our copy of our Frogtall. We're searching off this card's ability, or you can even search out your copy of Beaver Warrior if you want to grab Beaver Warrior off this card, because Beaver Warrior is conveniently a Beast Warrior, making it so that you basically have 9 Beaver Warriors in the deck, which is just really amazing about this, that you can instantly get to this card because you have 3 Beaver Warriors in the deck, 3 copies of Tenki, and 3 copies of Unexpected Die, so you can get to this card very easily in the deck, so you can get your most powerful boss monster out on the field. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing a few traps, and we're going to start off with our 2 copies of Revolt. Revolt is very easy to get to with our copy of Bearbrum, but I feel like 2 is the correct number in this deck because it lets you special summon a number of Beast Warrior and or Wing Beast monsters that are banished and or in your graveyard but negate their effects. Then immediately this effect resolves, you link summon a Tri-Brigade Link monster using only those monsters. This card is basically a 1-card Shirog, which is amazing about this card, that you can instantly special summon back 4 monsters to your side of the field and make a copy of Shirog to give you a banish, which is just really good. I love this card as a 2-of in the deck. I feel like 2 is the perfect number because 3 just breaks a little bit too much, and usually by the activation of one of these cards, you're in such a winning state that you're already winning the game, so it doesn't really matter. I feel like 2 is really good in this deck because it's very easy to get to, but I really like the second one in the deck, so you can use the effect of Roar if you need to, but I feel like 2 is perfect in this build. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Impermanence is just really good at stopping monster effects. You can also set this card to lock down entire columns of spells and traps, so this card is just really good as a 3-of in this build. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Shirog. I feel like 3 is perfect for this deck. This card is amazing. It's a walking banish, and if it does touch the graveyard, you can search, which is really nice. And this card is just such a powerful boss monster to go along with our Beaver Warrior. It has the ability, if this card is special summoned, or if another Beast Warrior or Wing Beast monster is special summoned to your field, then you can banish 1 card on the field. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, then you can add a Beast Warrior or Wing Beast monster from your deck to your hand, whose level is is less than or equal to the number of your banished Beast Warrior Winged Beast monsters, which is really good to be able to use in this deck because it does give you searches and it banishes cards off the field, which is just such a powerful effect. We then play a single copy of Access Code. Access Code's really good because you can pop multiple cards on the field with this card, and you can even bring this card out with 6,300 by targeting a copy of Shirog in the graveyard. We then play a single copy of Appaloosa. Appaloosa is just very easy to make in this deck to have multiple negates on the field. It's just really good in this particular deck as a one-up. Play a single copy of the Scareclaw Tryhard. I love this card because it's basically a Link version of Baguska. It's very easy to make in this deck as well because it is a Beast Warrior monster and it has a great ability. It must be Link summoned and all face-up monsters on the field are changed to defense position, and it's unaffected by the activated effects of defense position monsters, which is a really good ability to just shift everything into defense position. And especially since we're playing Link monsters, we cannot turn our monsters into defense position, which is really, really cool, so that we can still go in for game, but our opponent, if they're not playing Link monsters, are going to be forced into defense position, which is really cool. We then play a single copy of Rugal. Rugal is just a good one-of in the deck. I very rarely go into this card, but it is a good combo piece just in case you need it. We then play a single copy of Bearbrum. Bearbrum is really good as a one-of in the deck to help you get to your copy of Revolt extremely quickly, which is why we play this card as a one-of in the build. We then play 2 copies of Frigid. Frigid is really good in this deck as a 2-of as well because this card is just really good at helping you draw cards, and during your main phase, it's a great extender because it lets you special summon a level 4 lower Beast or Winged Beast monster from your hand, but it does lock you in for the rest of the turn for Beast Warrior and Winged Beast monsters for using them as link material, which is again not that big of a deal. And it also has a really good ability. If it's sent to the grave, you get to draw a card and then place a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck, so you can draw into the deck to get your copies of Beaver Warrior. We then play a single copy of Donner. Donner can be useful in this deck as a one-of because it can pop cards on the field. Play a single copy of Double Dragon Lords. This card can be brought out with the effects of your Tri-Brigade monsters, bypassing the ability to need a Wind Ancient Warrior monster. And this card's only effect that we're ever going to use on this card is that basically, a quick effect, you can send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard and then target a face-up card your opponent controls and bounce it back to the hand, which is really good in this particular deck to be able to do. We then play a single copy of Lightheart. The reason we play Lightheart in the deck is because it is a level, or it's a Link 1 Beast Warrior monster that we can make off the effect of our Tri-Brigade monsters, which is why we play this card as a one-of in the build, just in case we need an additional name in the grave. You can make this card. We then play a single copy of Alamirage. Alamirage is just great because this card is able to link away a monster on our side of the field that we normal summon, which is really good, and I love this card in the deck as a one-of. It's just a great combo piece. We then finally play a single copy of Herald of Arclight. This card is a walking negate and very easy to put on our side of the field by using a copy of Karass and a copy of Cerberil to be able to make this card, which gives us a great walking negate. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy this deck. This deck is super fun to be able to play. I really actually love playing Beaver Warrior in this deck because it's super cool to be able to play in this build because it's such a powerful card and it's just actually a great extender in the deck to be able to use with unexpected die. It's a really cool card. It's a super old school card, and Louise is just such an awesome boss monster. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.